Welcome everybody to day 3 to the grand finals of the Immortal pre-alpha showdown. I am Doa. With me is lead gameplay designer Travis. Did I get your title right?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely got
Wonderful.
it right.
Excellent. Travis is going to be, has been, obviously, our co-caster for this weekend. We've seen some great games, but today is the grand finals. A best of 5 between Highdra playing Karath, and then we've got Mixu as well playing Aru. It's going to be pretty neat. We're in for, I think, a good number of games. I'm hoping anything but a 3-0. That's just what I'm hoping for today. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just hoping to see what can be done about the absolvers in Resonance, and especially very keen on seeing what Mixer is able to bring to the table against these Zentari absolver strategies that Hydra's been pulling off.
Right. I mean, if anything, we know Mixu is aware of what Hydra's been using. He's been able to see those games, no doubt, and so he's going to be watching for some of the early game shenanigans from Hydra. But it's just been a ton of fun casting this. Like I said, it's been a little bit tricky because I'm in Korea, you're in Texas, so we've got some audio delay. We're trying to make it work tech wise, but I've been having because of other reasons to take a little bit of a break from getting to watch as much Immortal and play as much as I wanted to in the past as I've done over the last year. So it's been great to kind of dive back into it this weekend, and I'm hyped for the finals. Without any further ado, are you ready to get into game number 1?
I'm ready. Let's get a game going on our new pretty map. I'm psyched. Let's
do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand finals for the pre-alpha showdown here on the Immortals, the Immortal Alpha stress test weekend. I am Doa. With me is Travis, and we are going to see a best of 5 between Hydra playing Karath and Mixu playing Aru. The players locking in their Immortals right now. What do you think we're going to see chosen? I would imagine it's going to be Orzu Mala like we've seen all weekend long. As we get into the game, we'll confirm that. But early game, what do you think, Travis, that Mixu can do to hold off the shenanigans from Hydra?
I'm expecting definitely a lot more scouting after Mixu has seen all the shenanigans. In the first series with Drago versus Mixu, Mixu didn't seem to be too interested in scouting or care too much, just kind of played safe and got economy, got tech. But this game, I'm gonna bargain that Mixer's probably gonna be a little bit more keen on scouting this particular series with that knowledge.
You need to, and he's going to scout the early production building right away. So he knows that the possibility of early Zentari is a distinct thing that he might have to deal with. We know that Hydra's done that a lot in the past. Hydra doing some scouting as well. We do have an early Ether being built by Mixu as well. So the tech option will be there, and I love if he parks the scout right on the extractor, does that actually prevent you from building it?
It does currently block you from building it.
Interesting. Okay. Meanwhile, 2 moats moving out. Oh boy.
2 moats. So we saw that placement. We kind of knew what happened last time. That that forward Legion Hall, and now we have double moats. So we're probably seeing double Fire Singers.
Yeah, it's a little bit suspicious here. We'll see if they get scouted or not. They're going to sneak in at the side of the base. They run right into the scout, though. He does see it. So do the symbiotes get pulled to deal with this? It looks like the scout tried to prevent maybe the Fire Slingers from being built here. The moat's harassing a little bit. Fire Slinger number 1 goes down. Will there be another one? You can see more scouts coming in to just kind of check it out. They can't really attack, but they can at least watch.
Yeah, we have a symbiote pull.
Yep. There we go. The symbiote's coming in. You got to deal with this. Only pulls 3. Is that enough?
This is not going to even kill that first cannon. This is too many cannons, and they're a little bit too far along. But we do have the masked hunter, so didn't have to pull all the boys. Just had to pull some of the boys. Looks like that Mixu got down that second cannon just in time before it started doing any actual real damage. We did lose 1 symbiote during this exchange.
True. All right, another symbiote getting focused down by Hydra, so he's going to do the most he can with these Zentari. The Masked Hunter's on the run right now, but you can't really push him too much farther. At the very least, this is going to make it a little bit harder to mine from the natural.
Yeah, Mixu doing some really nice pot shots while that turret's distracted, but who gets the last hit is who gets the Pyre. Yeah. And Mixu does take it.
Okay. All right. So a little bit more Pyre. Actually, so far, Hydra's been able to get a little bit more overall, and he's got enough for a pillar. Oh boy, that's exactly what Mixu was trying to
Oh,
avoid. And now your masked hunters are not that good. Now they're just softer ranged units than the Zentari are. And we could see more Zentari move down. We could even see another moat being brought across to build another fire slinger. We'll see what that blue dot is.
yeah. This isn't actually a part of the game that is getting changed. The Zentari will need an upgrade to get that full 500 range on instead of 300 range on that Zentari. But for now, you gotta just play with what you got.
Yeah.
And it looks like Hydra's utilizing that effect. But Mixu coming in with his own Pyre and shredding through these Zentari, trying to pump through them, focusing one at a time. Gonna get that last Zentari, and this
That Zentari, he's running out.
gets away.
Yeah, goes poolside. He wants to take a little bit of a relaxation break as he moves out of the natural. And why not? He's earned it, Travis. That Zentari has done his job. He can take a vacation. Looks like he's going a long way away from home.
Yeah, and you do get that nice spa treatment down there at the
Yeah.
little amphitheater.
Yeah, like little stairs leading to a nice pool. A lot of masked hunters coming out. And these absolvers might be a little bit vulnerable, but now if he breaks it up like this and just goes scouting. So it looks like Mixu is more interested in just doing a bit of scouting than trying to do any sort of counterattack.
Yeah, needs to grab some Pyre because
That too.
for certain we know Hydra's absolutely going to be farming that Pyre on that map. So Mixu needs to make sure that in the next exchange there's some Pyre to fight back with.
Right. A little bit of Pyre being taken by Highdra there. The faster you can move back to being able to drop another pillar, the better. Clearing out some of the neutral defenses on the map, grabbing a little bit more Pyre, I believe, that way too, right?
Ooh, we have a scout on that tower.
Yeah.
If you can get that tower, that's a nice bit of positional advantage. You kind of like help control the entire left side of the map for rotations from from Mixu. But it looks like that's scouted, so it's kind of on Mixu to make sure that he goes and kills that before it gets put up. But looks like instead he's going to prioritize getting Pyre camps.
It makes sense. So the Absolver's able to harass a little bit. Can they get it? Oh my gosh, he stole the Pyre.
Steal!
Oh. He gets to steal the Pyre. Yeah, that hurts. You did all the work, and then your opponent strides in and takes the Pyre. That stings a little bit, and that pushes Highdra above 100 Pyre too. So now the Immortal ability options are just that much greater, right? I guess Mixu gets
on
there
the plus
too,
side.
right?
Mixu did force a cancel on that bottom tower.
True. Both players have their naturals going right now. The big question is who's going to take a third. It looks like there might be a third being taken right now by Mixu. Moving the masked hunters, wanted to scout out the third for Orzum as well. Highdra right there to chase him away though.
Yeah, Empire and Broken goes down, but buys a little bit of time, but doesn't accomplish too much. Just a little bit of extra damage. But now with that damage actually on Mixu's army, Hydra's kind of in a good position to try to go chase down and cut them off from retreat.
Yeah, a lot of those masked hunters down to about half, 3/4 health now. Gonna try to protect this Pyre mine as best they can.
But and that miner does shoot, so it's doing a little bit of damage, do a little bit of tanking.
Nice.
So we can see a little bit of skirmishing from it.
Yeah. Good denial of that though by Highdra, and now he's going to continue to chase these masked hunters a little bit.
Yeah, continually gets a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah.
But Mixu is able to actually get a path back home instead of being cut off.
Yeah, I think overall Mixu has played this early game pretty well. His army has taken a lot of damage, but he's been able to gather a lot of Pyre. So that's one edge that he's been able to hold over Highdra so far. And if he's able to hold this third base, he might be able to out-tech a little bit. Orzum coming in though.
There's no tower here.
Yep, there's a pillar though. And now Orzum's going to be able to use that to get that hollowed ground for everybody, and that's going to make it harder for the mass hunters to engage. They do take it out quickly, but the defensive position has been established for Highdra right now.
Yeah, it looks like Mixu can probably stabilize this, no problem. But that we don't know the third base situation. That could be pretty pivotal. Pivotal. It depends on. Okay, it looks like there's probably a third base, and it's going to come under siege. We're gonna have to see a response from Mixu. This is gonna be kind of heartbreaking to see it go down uncontested.
Yep. That base taking a lot of damage. The Mass Hunter's coming in, big buff as well from the Immortal ability. There is one Resonant there too. It looks like the Mass Immortals are going to be able to barely take out the Absolvers, but there's still a lot of Zentari to deal with.
Yeah, Mixu's able to take out the key pieces, which kind of thwarts that siege.
Right.
And now Highdra is just going to be outpositioned. So it looks like Mixu able to successfully save that third base.
I like the Absolver sieged up on the high ground as well to prevent Mixu from pushing forward, but also prevent him from taking this Pyre camp. A lot of Pyre being used by both players in that last engagement, so whoever gets the next little batch like this is crucial, and that will be Highdra in this case.
Yeah. That actually seems like such a good idea, how to have a Pyre camp tracker to see how many camps have been taken by each player.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, tech guys, get on it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, we're still, the observer mode is still definitely a work in progress, so some of the information we're still having to kind of guess, like how many miners are at the bases, how many workers are killed, that kind of stuff. But hey, it's the alpha, man. I mean, we're just lucky to get to see the game in the state it's in. You know, it's just cool.
Yeah, very, very happy to be spectating, even to this quality in pre-alpha. So this has been fantastic.
Oh yeah, but look at this again. Highdra just focusing on taking those Pyre camps, making sure that he just tries to stay ahead as much as he can in that game. And, you know, when I say stay ahead, it's not necessarily, you know, banking more Pyre than your opponent. It's having more Pyre to use more frequently on your Immortal abilities, right? So he's been able to do that. Does he have the ability to save this third, though?
Ooh, gets the Resonant. A full moat line is taken out in exchange for that Resonant. That can be quite good, but it depends on how many further Mass Hunters get bled out.
I mean, check out the minimap, too. These Mass Hunters are leading the army of Highdra on a merry chase, while meanwhile, up at the top of the map, there is another force moving into the main of Highdra, and this could get very deadly for our Karath player.
And that looks like quite a chunk of units. It's definitely bigger than that other army. Oh, they're coming in. Oh, there's a Fire Singer to buy some time. Whittle down those units.
Yeah, the Fire Singer does allow Highdra to get his moats out of the way to save the worker line, but he is going to lose an important tech building here. Oh, there are a couple Sharus out already, though. Yeah.
So one T3 production facility taken out, getting a couple parting moats as well. Mm-hmm. And they're not the full cleanup. He's got to go back and actually properly deal with them.
Yeah, he left a little bit early, and those Mass Hunters took the opportunity to kill another 3 or 4 moats there. That's rough. And this is what's been fun about watching Mixu this weekend, is that he's done a really good job of just outmaneuvering his opponents, right? We saw that a lot in his first game. We're seeing that now in game number 1 against Highdra today. And if anything is going to win Mixu this series, it's going to be able to just simply outmaneuver his opponent.
Yep. We do have 3 Sharu. These are going to be terrifying if Mixu's just sat on a bunch of Masked Hunters still.
Yeah, only two Resonants at the moment.
Yeah, and if those Resonants siege, they are prime bait for the Tempest or the Ostrike coming down from the Sharu.
Right. Sharu poking ahead, trying to get that going. Yeah, there's one Ostrike going out, and again, that if I'm correct, it does leave a area on the ground that damages you if you run over it. Oh, meanwhile, the Masked Hunter's trying to flank again.
Ooh, actually, this is really nice because it's kind of scary being on Mixu's side of the map. Highdra has a very scary army, and Mixu would really love to put the pressure back on the opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a situation where you can fight the Karath player toe to toe, right? But what you are doing is you are sort of dictating where their army moves on the map. And if you can do that, if you can sort of be the puppeteer like Mixu is right now with Hydra's army, you can expand pretty aggressively. And we see that. We see that fourth being taken in the upper right around like the 2 o'clock position on the map right now. So that combined with the fact that Mixu has continued to do a good job of controlling these Pyre camps at this stage in the mid game, I would almost wager to say he's starting to pull ahead a little bit.
Yeah, definitely starting to pull ahead in economy, maybe lacking a tiny bit in tech-wise.
Yeah.
We might see some improvement there. So we kind of got to see how these 2 advantages pan out.
Fight happening now. Yep. And I gotta say, those Wraith Bows have problems. They took a lot of damage. I think he's lucky he didn't lose more there. They were a little bit exposed, but the Zentari just couldn't quite chase them down. But both players playing pretty evenly at this point. You know, the map space that Mixu has taken has been sort of made up for by the fact that the army for Highdra is just like that little bit much more scary, right? That said, I think there's a pretty scary army for Mixu that's finally been put together here that is going to be hard for Highdra to deal with if they do go face to face.
Absolutely. And this is Orzum to a T.
Yeah.
Absolutely just incredibly happy to be set up in a specific situation. And then so sad having to chase around things that are just so much faster than them.
Right.
Being so dependent on those hallowed ground fields.
Yeah. It's definitely been a bit of a cat and mouse game with Hydra being the cat, but that mouse is just that much faster. And the mouse has like 100 bow and
big
arrows.
Ostrike.
Ooh, big Ostrike. But the thing is, the mass hunters run through it so fast. Is the damage going to be impactful enough? It looks like Mixu says it is, so he's going to back away. And I mean, you do have 5 sieged up absolvers there too to deal with. So but the thing is like without those Ostrikes, without that little extra damage on the big packs of masked hunters, I think Mixu would have been in a good place to fight that army toe to toe.
Yeah, that was definitely a situation where Mixu really had to retreat. Took way too much attrition on the way through, but got the 9 o'clock. That move was actually huge. There was nothing in response to this detachment from Mixu, and now Mixu going in again is able to come in and get a free Sharu.
Yeah. And I gotta say, this is just like what we saw from Mixu in the first semifinal of the weekend, kind of taken to the next level, right? Where he's playing against like that much better of a Karath player, and he's still able to do this big, heavy masked hunter harass while slowly adding in the tech units over the course of the game. And again, like the map control, he is losing some workers here at the 2 o'clock base, but will that be enough? We did see, one game where eventually the Aru player just got choked out economically and had to tap out.
Yeah, and that's the kind of situation where Mixu's going to be really happy, wants to choke out the Kroth player, and Hydra's been struggling to find those key engagements where he can actually just sit and take a fight and force the enemy to stand on top of those Ostrikes.
Yeah, my question now is, will Hydra be able to keep up what he's doing and just basically outlast his opponent? Because at some point, Mixu is going to lose a war of attrition, right? Where he's being able to produce a big army that moves quickly, but he's losing units a lot faster than Hydra has been, it feels like, without being able to actually, check the stats and confirm that. It just feels that way. So you can end up kind of drained of resources as the Aru player sometimes in this situation, and I think that's a big concern. That said, great pick on the base up here at the 12 o'clock. If he can get it, that'd be huge, but I think he's in danger of losing a lot of these masked hunters in the process.
Yep, and then the army's there to catch these masked hunters.
Oh.
How much go down on the way out?
Wow.
A good chunk, a good half of them.
Yeah, big Ostrike from the Sharu, taking out a lot of those vulnerable, like 20-30% health masked hunters. Like I said, the war of attrition is a real thing, and it's starting to kind of be felt by Mixu here.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Hydra was able to actually do their own harassment. So it's not like it's been a one-sided story where Mixu's only been the only harasser, but Hydra taking more and more map. Look at those expansions coming out of the bottom left map. The entire left side of the map is coming up. And it looks like Hydra feels like they have enough. They're going for it. They force a fight, and it looks like Mixu taps out and knows they don't have the power to contend here.
Yep, that's it. GG, game number 1 goes to Hydra. Welcome back, everyone. Game number 2 of the grand finals here in the pre-alpha showdown. Doa and Travis with you as we see Hydra 1 game up on Mixu. Despite the fact that Mixu, I think, played that game really well, it all came down to the war of attrition, and that is a war that Hydra and Karath are kind of well designed to win. So going into the second game, what do you think Mixu can do to even up the score?
Yeah, Mixu did a lot to set themselves up into a pretty good place, but maybe went a bit too reliant on out multitasking and attacking bases with large detachments. It got to that late game scale where Mixu probably needed to start bringing in higher tech into the game and didn't quite get there. We probably want to see more behemoths, maybe some Aarocs to snipe out some Sharu, more tools to help contend against Hydra's late game.
Yeah.
Because without that, you get to a point where you trade so inefficiently with pure masked hunter that you just kind of get shredded every single fight. So even if you're killing a town hall here and there, you
Mhm.
do get bled out. Your army starts dwindling.
Whoa, I just noticed too. We have two Karoth players this game. Mixu swapping it
Ooh.
up, playing Orzum as well. So we have our first mirror match of the tournament, actually, as we see the Legion Hall now going down for Mixu on his side of things. So the funny thing, Mixu just saying, all right, my Aru not good enough to take on your Karoth, so it's just going to be the mirror match. That changes things. That shifts the dynamic completely in this series.
Yeah, so Mixu's typical style won't be that we've seen throughout the rest of the series. It won't be able to be utilized here. The Masked Hunter is too good at running around the map, picking apart different positions, and being mobile. And now it's going to be pure Orzum on Orzum, which means we're going to see Zentari on Zentari. So what's probably going to happen is these pillar timings from both players are going to be entirely crucial to how
Right.
the engagements play out.
100%, because if you can get your pillar down and get like one or two rounds of range firing on your opponent's army as they come in, get that little bit of an HP advantage, that could end up being very impactful in the fight overall. I'm a little bit disappointed. I was hoping Mixu would stick with Aru. I think he was close. I think he maybe stuck on the Masked Hunter harass and the Masked Hunter game a little bit too long, which is what you see a lot of Aru players do, right? Because they seem so good. You're getting harassment done, but sometimes you fail to sort of think about how much you're spending on replacing all those masked hunters. And you get to the point in the game that we saw where your opponent's just got a big army, they're ahead in tech, and you're like, oh, I just built a lot of masked hunters this game. And you kind of, have to tap out, right? So I would have loved to see him play Aru again, with that sort of like mindset going forward of maybe taking a little bit quicker, a little bit less harassment, a little bit more of a stable sort of gameplay. But Orzum is going to be the choice. Kind of interesting thing we get to see early on, I guess, in the state of the game where players are going to be faction changing. You don't see that in other RTSs, right? Not often
Yeah,
anymore.
no, yeah, the way the UX for a game works is it is very easy to switch from one faction to the next because the buttons that you push to build your troops and your buildings, they're constructed in a way that it makes it more seamless to switch from one faction to the next.
Yeah, and that's cool. I like it. I love the grid style hotkeys, the core as it was known back in the day, that Jack Attack was famous for working on, right? Um, but it does make it very easy to change between different factions. And while you don't often see that in the tournament as pro players kind of develop, since we're so early in the life of Immortal, we get to see players kind of do that mid-series, which is definitely interesting. Checking in with the
Yeah,
Pyre economy, pretty even on both players right now. And I think we could just simply see a longer game here as the players sort of play it safe, it seems like.
yeah, we do have the
Although,
absolvers coming out for
yeah,
Hydra. So the question will be, what does Mixu have in response? They have their own absolvers. If you saw them shooting off screen,
yeah,
so that's gonna kind of force both players to respect each other's position,
right.
and it's gonna be where people are able to sneak into and find a position, and if you can force a fight, and that's gonna basically decide who's gonna take most of the value from each
So
exchange.
I will revise, I guess, a little bit of what I said before, where we could be in for a long, close match where that's possible. But in mirror matches as well, you can run into situations where if one player gains a tech advantage that the other one is slow to equalize, you could just see a massive swing in army strength very quickly, and you can see very sudden, decisive ends to mirror match games and RTSs. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that as well. Um, but for me, the longer game, the deeper the tech we go, the better. So we'll see. Mass Throne versus Mass Throne. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh god, I'd love to see it. We would see quite a bit of castigators if that were the case.
Yeah.
We do have an Antilarum coming out for Mixu, so that is a very key piece of tech that's going to come out. So we might see a Scepter come out,
Right.
or perhaps a Rush to Throne tech. So um, as far as what Hydra's going for, definitely both players deciding to opt for their third bases. Both players still being pretty safe and just kind of accruing some territory, scouting about, getting their Pyre camps, not being too confrontational. Except for this moment, we do have a siege down trying to take down this tower.
Huh, there's a
And it
scepter.
looks like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, there's a scepter.
Oh, interesting. There's also a sentinel as well to kind of protect it against other possible sentinels. So a little bit of a diverse air tech being brought out by Hydra right now to have that little combo of the sentinel and the scepter, which is interesting. Again, you have the air-to-air protection from the sentinel, and then you have the air-to-ground harass from the scepter. So, and also you get the little advantage, I suppose, where the scepter or the sentinel rather can fly ahead because it's a bit faster and do some scouting. Make sure that where the sentinel is coming into, or the scepter rather is coming into. I'm messing up the names all the time. Is better, right? I'm new.
Yep,
I'm still new
absolutely.
to this.
And so, kind of unfortunately, I guess it depends on how much damage gets done. Hydra was able to have their scepter early, but Mixu saw that scepter a mile away, so they were able to spend all their money on 2 sentinels, which lets them win the air game temporarily. Not without some cost. We do see a couple motes go down, but that scepter is quite expensive. It goes down.
Yeah, the scepter will get taken out, but did do a good amount of damage to the worker line. It lets Hydra get out and take this Pyre camp. But that said, Mixu rushing forward here. Can't secure the Pyre, but he does force Hydra to back off a little bit.
Yeah, both teams opting for a very, very heavy ground comp. So it's going to be what tools kind of enforce the ability of one player to actually leverage any kind of scare threat against the enemy army. Because that's the one thing that can break a pure siege, a pure ground control versus ground control situation.
Right. All right, Magi sieging up there to give a little bit of buffing to the army around it.
Yep. Oh, we got a harassment.
Yeah.
From these 2 Zentari. They sneak in.
The Sentinels, what are they going to do? They're going to yell to the moats, look out or something? Hey, watch out down there.
They can judge their swinging technique to maybe debuff the enemy, make them do less damage if they feel criticized.
Yeah, the Sentinels are hey, we'd help, guys. We don't know how to land. Sorry. All right, a little bit more.
In the future, they'll be able to morph and zap enemy missiles that come by.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And that'll eat their shields when they do it. So it's kind of like taking a hit for your allies.
Neat, though.
Ooh, more economic damage done by Hydra. Hydra's been so effective with this small unit count Zentari harass.
The Sentinels again, they're hey, stop. Now, all right, the couple Zentari come out to
Are you a scepter yet?
Yeah. All right, so good harassment for Hydra. Again, I wish we could see the workers killed. We got to get that into the observer mode at some point. But now we see some hollowers coming out. So the long range siege as the fight begins, but the hollowers are not there at the beginning of the combat. So they get a couple shots in, but losses are slightly higher for Mixu from the beginning. There's a throne out now for Hydra as well.
Yeah, this throne, it's throne tech versus hallower tech. So ultimately, Hydra is the person who gets to just kind of shell away at the enemy army. But that's a lot more. That's a lot of damage coming from those hallowers. So if we just kind of skirmish from long range, even though the thrones can kind of shoot the ground army from impunity, the throne's not that fast, and the hallowers can just shoot some shots from far away and then kind of back off.
The danger too is that we know Mixu has a couple of sentinels out as well, which are going to make short work of the thrones if they can get close. So it's not like Hydra is totally safe. You can see he's still playing it very turtly here. And that's probably wise. Both players just trying to play ultra safe as they expand. Just kind of taking the center of the map from time to time to grab that Pyre,
Yep. Oh, we have a nice round of Hallower shots.
Yeah.
And a pillar's going to be used, and fuse go down from both players. Oh, the pillar smashed 2 absolvers, and the castigators coming in to clean up the thrones. This is looking very decisive.
I mean, it's looking pretty good for Mixu. His army's certainly winning that engagement at least. But
my God.
It does feel like base-wise, I think he might be a little bit behind on the economy side. But with another pillar coming down to support this, that might not be for long.
That's such a huge army left over. That was too clean of a fight. It's going to be really hard for Hydra to get back into this game. He's got to stabilize, get some army back into the game. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of impact into the bases.
Look at all those
of
castigators.
Hydra.
That is so many castigators. Actually, there is nothing that Hydra can bring in the air right now that can handle what Mixu has.
Yeah, and it's just thrones and even more thrones.
I mean, thrones are great, but against that many castigators, I don't know if they're going to live long enough. You know.
Yeah, they're gonna get even some Zephyr. I'm sorry, some Dervish. No, the old name is the new name.
Yeah, they're the Zephyrs now. Yeah, the Zephyr and the Dervish,
Yep.
the Dervish switched names at one point in development. So for those of us that played when the names were swapped previously, it's still hard to like remember it.
Yeah, and the software devs have never recovered since. I keep double swapping them in my head, like, no, it's swapped. Oh no, that's a double swap. Never mind.
Yeah, the
The
little walking guys, those are Zephyrs now. Yep.
This is such a big army for Mixu.
GG. That's it.
It's gonna be really tough. Yep,
Hydra
that's
taps
over.
out. Yeah. Game number 2 goes to Mixu. We got a tie series. 1-1 between Hydra and Mixu. Mixu coming back, choosing Karath and winning the game, actually. Doing a really good job of just kind of handling the quick air tech that Hydra brought out. And we'll see if he decides to stick with that here for game number 3 in this grand final best of 5. And we have Karath versus Aru again. Mixu swapping back to Aru. All right.
Yep. So it looks like we got a win from Mixu against that, but it does seem like Mixu's feeling want to go Mala this time. So maybe Mixu figured something out during the course of that game that, hey, I can do this with Aru. I got this, and is heading back to that.
That's the thing. It feels like Mixu is kind of like proving a point. He's like, all right, I can play you Karath to Karath. I can do the mirror match, but I want to win it on my own terms. I want to win it with Aru. So we'll see if this ends up working out. As last time, again, it felt like the reliance on masked hunters just went on for a little bit too long, and Hydra was just able to out attrition him as the game went on. So we'll see if there's changes in style here from Mixu. Do some early Legion Halls again, which seems to be something that Hydra likes to do. Or the forward.
Yeah,
Legion
the position
Hall,
of that Legion Hall, it's there in that exact position every single game.
Yeah. I guess what it does is it can get the units to your opponent's base, that much faster. I'm sure there's some sort of tight timing that Hydra's figured out with that. Because a lot of times he'll pair the early Zentari with a couple moats, So, okay. Yeah, and he's just going to go for a little bit of a choke point defense there with the Fire Slinger on the bridge.
Yep. And we do have another moat on route. So this is 2 moats pull for this. So we'll see what if there's anything overly cheeky. Maybe another Fire Slinger on the opposite side to kind of hold both chokes and maybe enforce some kind of attrition.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the case. I was wondering if there was going to be like a sneaky second or something, but no, I think he's just going to go ahead and
it doesn't
rush
look like it.
Yeah, Fire Slinger being built right outside the natural now. It is within vision, so we know that Mixu can see that. Okay, and that Fire Slinger looked like it got canceled maybe, or it got taken out by the Masked Hunters. Could have been either one. I saw them kind of burning, so I think they just took it out. Yeah, all right, that's not going to work out.
Yeah, they just took it out, clean up the other.
All right.
And
Mischief managed by Mixu then.
Yeah, mischief managed indeed. And it looks like Hydra is able to get some early Pyre going on while Mixu was kind of distracted.
Right.
We do have basically both situations managed. So now we're kind of in an even stalemate aside from Hydra having more of a map control and Pyre advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Hydra, the big thing right now in this game, I would say, is this Pyre advantage that Hydra's been able to gain by the early harass, right? Because he did enough damage to those Masked Hunters that they couldn't really move out on the map to contest this. So you can see just a massive Pyre edge for Hydra right now, being like about 60 ahead or so, which again is just more abilities you can use in the heat of the moment, right? Because the more I think about the Pirates, it's not about who can bank the most. It's about who can gain the most quickly to be more regularly using those Immortal abilities.
Yeah. Speaking of Pyre, Hydra might be, if Hydra can pull it off, there might be a sneak attack pillar maneuver in our future.
Well, we've seen him do it before. We know he likes to do this. Going through these destructible rocks, he should have like another round of Zentari joining him soon. Although there is a scout up by his choke, so that might not be the case. And it could just be that Mixu has scouted this. Mixu also moving out on the map here too. So I think maybe Hydra thinks this is going to be a little bit too risky to go for this time. Yeah, going to spot the scout.
Yeah,
be spotted by the
it.
scout on the way back. Right.
So a lot of respect placed on it from both players. Both players being very safe. Basically trying to get up to their further tool so they can figure out what to do from there.
Yeah.
And we do have the timing from Hydra. Maybe it's the prep for this. If Hydra already knew that he had Absolvers coming on the way, that ramp is open up ahead of time. So those Absolvers can walk straight into that back door. And we might see a pretty fast game right here.
I think you absolutely nailed it, Travis, where like it was never about the pillars and the Zentari early on. It was about paving the way for these early Absolvers to come in. We saw him killing the scouts to make it easier to walk in, and now into the vision walk the Absolvers. There's 3 of them. Here comes a pillar.
Here it comes.
This is devastating for Mixu.
Let's see how fast this Godheart falls.
Very fast. Very fast. Oh no! I mean that might just be it. I don't know how you recover from this if you're Mixu. You've got some masked hunters, but there's 3 Absolvers there. You've lost your main.
The altar falls again as well. All the ethers going down. There's Thrum that can pick it away very quickly, but
okay,
it's kind of like using a pea shooter to put out a fire.
I mean, the Thrum, can attack these with impunity, right? I mean, the Thrum are in no danger, and maybe there's some counter harass opportunities now, but losing your main like that just seems like a tough situation. But that said, I think Hydra, we'll see, because Mixu could just try to go for some counter harass once he handles this. That's a lot of Thrum.
There's counter harass, but it's going to take those Thrums so much time to actually whittle down these Zentari without those mass hunters there. And still killing further workers.
Yeah, so the Zentari do a lot, and you can see he's pulling the Thrum as far away as possible, because the thing is, I would imagine if I were Mixu, I'd be sending those Thrum across the map ASAP. We do see a little bit of air-to-air being built by Hydra, so maybe he's given himself enough time to handle the Thrum attack that comes in.
Yeah, the solution's kind of there already. Those Sentinels are ready. That's a lot of Thrum. This is definitely not just a... Sentinels just win by default situation. These Thrum can actually take down these Sentinels if they get on top of them.
Oh, the Sentinels are doing so much already.
There's the Inspire.
Yeah.
The Infuse.
I mean, here's the thing. If Hydra holds off this attack, he wins. Because the main is dead for Mixu, right? And I don't think Mixu is getting in too many Sentinels here. I think it was a small window for Mixu. But, yeah, if you can't push in here and end it. All right.
And then Infuse chasing down.
He knows. Like, Hydra knows how important these Thrum are for Mixu. Like, these are like make or break Thrum. And I think he killed enough of them. I think he killed enough of them.
Yeah, even more importantly, shoot away them from the base. And man, that was 3 infuses just to try to either settle the Thrum situation or shoo him away.
I mean, worth. If it wins you the game, absolutely worth it, right? He's hunting. He's Thrum hunting. Oh, find some masked hunters, though. But he's just going to build more Sentinels. So you've got that air-to-air. You've got Zentari who can go, who can just run into the faces of the masked hunters on the ground. So it's kind of, we're in a weird spot where this composition is what Hydra needs. All right.
Yeah, very much so. And you can see that pillar is still in the main base. Hydra's making a move to get more Zentari on top of that pillar. If he can do that, that's going to be even more damage to any workers or perhaps the base that's gone back up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Thrum turning around. They were going across towards Hydra, but now they turned back here as the Zentari with another pillar able to ranged attack that building, the second main being built here. The Sentinels just kind of hanging out. They got to get engaged soon.
Yeah, it looks like he's a bit busy with whatever he's probably preoccupied with.
There we go.
But here they come.
Yeah, the thing is this is ending up being a closer game than I thought, because we do actually have a few of the Wraith bows for the anti-air as well. Huh.
Yep, that is true. Those Sentinels are
Interesting.
going to get annihilated by those Wraith Bows, plus the Mass Hunters.
Wow. I mean, Mixu's just barely hanging on here, but he's starting to put together a composition that is going to be tough for Hydra to handle. I mean, I I feel like Hydra went hard on the Sentinels to defeat the Thrum, and then thereby, trying to get Mixu to just give up because he had lost so much economy. But Mixu hanging in there.
Yeah, Mixu utilizing a pretty balanced composition. Honestly, there's pretty much a tool for everything against Hydra. And the way that Mixu has been positioning themselves is that they're able to use the right tool for the right job in every situation so far.
Yeah. All right.
Meanwhile, Hydra has been either having Sentinels in one place or just pure Zentari in one place, and it's been pretty much nothing but that. But it looks like it's going to be another pretty hefty push from Hydra. Let's see if they actually go for it or not. Hydra does have the Pyre potential to get another pillar down, so that might be one of the deciding factors here. Is where does that pillar go down, and then how
Wow.
does Mixu respond to it?
Wow. Hydra just wants to end it right now. He does not want to wait. He's going after the natural at this point. He goes ahead and buffs. There's a immortal ability coming in. He's going to surround the Wraith Bows. That could be big. Going to surround the Wraith Bows. Going to surround the Resonance. And that might be the backbreaking move for Mixu here. We'll see if he can recover.
Yeah,
He does keep one Wraith Bow alive. There is some harassment going from the Thrum again. I think on the Thrum on the left side of the map. But overall, it seems like Hydra's been able to continue to sort of steadily build up here.
yeah, it's definitely not over yet. The definitely enforcing an army advantage with that 1K lead, and ooh, more Thrum going down. But Hydra able to have so much leverage over the map, which with these very committal punches across the map,
Right.
while Mixu is
Oh.
desperately trying to scrap together some form of counter pressure
Oh
and
no.
some kind of reward as well.
I mean, the fourth under attack right now from a little masked hunter assault there, a couple Icors in there as well. But
Ooh, no cancel, I think.
he does. Yeah, I mean, I think that was a lot of alloy lost by Hydra, but he's able to chase this down. That's a lot of Zentari right now. And if they got on top of the Resonance, that's going to be tough for Mixu.
Yeah,
This,
these Icor are going to punish the Zentari from overextending.
yeah.
Without that Pyre being in place for Hydra, these Icor, even in that small quantity, can do a lot. But oh, the Thrones are there. You don't want to jump into that. Oh,
GG.
sing the
Yeah,
Thrones.
that's it. And
Makes
so
you
it's
know
going to
he's
be
outgunned.
a lead taken by Hydra once more in game 3. And here we are in game number 4 of this best of 5 grand finals between Hydra and Mixu. Mixu getting one win in the mirror match, Kroth versus Kroth. But when it comes to Aru versus Kroth, it feels like Hydra has a player that has, had the edge. And that said, in what could be the final game of the series, we have Aru being played by Mixu again. So Travis, he's just confident. He says, I'm going to win it with Aru, or I'm not going to not win it at all, it feels like.
Yeah, I do appreciate that resolve.
Yeah,
And it felt like Mixu had a lot going too. But Hydra is able to remain just so stable and utilize very committal punches that just knocked Mixu out of commission.
right.
So probably want to see Mixu being a little bit more on top of making sure those sneaky backdoor maneuvers don't work anymore. Because honestly, that put Mixu on the back foot at the very start of the game. So
Yeah.
let's see if we can find a Mixu with a lot more power this time, not being sabotaged by losing the main base and some production at the very start of the game.
Now, I think for me, one of the main things Mixu needs to keep in mind with this game is you gotta watch the destructible rocks to the left of your main. Like we've seen multiple attacks come through there on the side of Hydra in a couple different series now. He's gone Zentari with a pillar to rest. He's gone Zentari with
The
fast
absolvers.
absolver. So just watch the rocks. Just like park someone outside the rocks, and you can see he's moving a scout. It's obviously way earlier than those rocks have gone down in the past, but I just want to see him keep an eye on the rocks. Just park a symbiote there, park a scout there, like park something there so you can see if those
You
are getting
can't
taken
keep
out.
getting away with it.
Exactly, yeah. You can't let him do
Yeah.
it.
And maybe this got patched out. I'm not entirely sure, but I would keep tabs. I could hear things through the fog of war, which is a little bit gamey, but it definitely worked for me. That you didn't even have to get information. But the other strategy that was commonly used was you could put a production facility right on top of those rocks, and that could give you information on when those rocks are being attacked. You could see the rock HP points going down.
You just need some way to keep track of it either way. I do like the early moves on the map from Mixu this time. He's going out and taking some Pyre. Should be able to hold that a little bit, get a little bit more in the early game than he did last game, if I recall correctly.
Yep. Lot of camps already taken. We don't have a display at the moment for, or at least the display hasn't been toggled on for showing the current Pyre count. So we're gonna have to play that one by ear for now. So we'll see we'll have to keep a tabs on the mini map. So we'll see these rotations from each player's units and where they're grabbing the Pyre camps.
Right.
We see one taken already for Mixu, while Hydra's taking one, and there's going to be two more left, and it's going to be important because if we see enough Pyre camps taken for Highdra, we saw how crucial those pillars were with the mass Antari and getting a pillar down and making a very capital attack.
That's a great point, is that you do need to think about denying Pyre as much as possible if you're Mixu, because those pillars have been such a core component. And look at this, the rocks again. Are you kidding me? All right, he's got to scout this.
Oh, no.
Mixu, you got to scout this. All right, mental note. If you're playing against Karoth, I think it's pretty reasonable to around 3:30 to the 4-minute mark, park something out the rocks here to watch for this. It seems like this is probably the timing that lines up well for a lot of Karoth builds. So keep that in mind. If you're out there playing the Alpha, 3:30 to 4 minutes, I'd be looking at these rocks. Otherwise, you got this coming through. You know he's got the Pyre.
No.
You know the pillar's coming in.
Oh, no. Not like this.
Not like this. Not like this.
Oh, the repeat.
We've seen it again. There's the pillar. All right.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Well, Travis, apparently he can, because that main is going to get destroyed. I don't think there's anything you can do about this. Oh, yeah, no.
Let this be a lesson and a tale for you alpha stress test access players.
Yep.
Don't let this happen to you. This could be you in
that's right.
Game 4 of the finals.
This is it, man. I mean, look, this is like the best this has ever gone, too. That's the weirdest thing, is this is the most successful we have seen this attack yet, I think, at the tournament.
Oh, yeah. This is super clean.
Everything's
this
dead?
Is so clean.
That's it?
Everything's dead.
I don't...
There's no reinforcements. There's no Amber Womb. There's no Resonant to pick away.
It's all over but the GG.
It's just Mass Hunters.
That's right. We're just waiting for the GG at this point, man.
Oh, yeah. It's game.
I don't want to call it before it's over, but Travis, this one's over, man. I mean, Mixu, I think just kind of taking stock of what happened, maybe trying to run through, the scouting paths he had earlier in the game, just kind of thinking about things a little bit, not throwing in the towel just yet, because, if he did, the tournament is over. He's got a few masked hunters there, so maybe he's trying to mass up for like one final push, but yeah, now with 3 absolvers walking across the map, you're just not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, the absolver reinforcements are absolutely going to be the coffin in the nail. We have Highdra. He can walk over and enforce a GG by killing the enemy town hall. He will take the GG from his opponent.
Apparently he will. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Mixu went to get coffee because those masked hunters aren't even moving, man. There we go. Okay. Finally moving out. A couple sentinels to say hi and just wave from above. He's like doing the skywriting. He's like, GG, I will. Yep.
Yep. Good game, everybody.
Dude, this is like classic RTS now. All right, that's it. GG. Highdra takes the tournament 3-1. What a show. Well, that's it. It's a 3-1 victory for Highdra, Travis. We didn't get a GG in the last game, but it's gotta hurt. Again, you gotta check the rocks.
So painful.
You gotta check the rocks, and it's a heartbreaker for Mixu. And Mixu played so well this tournament. He was a really fun player to watch. Mass respect for swapping to Karoth in game number 2 and getting that mirror match win. He had it in him, But I respect he wanted to win with Aru. I respect that, and he played it well. It's just, you gotta remember those destructible rocks. But that's it. Tournament over. Best of 5, 3-1 victory for Highdra. It was a ton of fun. It's so cool to have two factions in the game now, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredibly fun. Especially, I'm someone who really likes the technical play. And Aru, you have more fragile troops. You can do a lot more technical maneuvers that feels more, knife edge kind of techniques.
Yeah.
And yeah, all about it. So that's going to bring a lot of nice variety. Hope to see a lot of you people checking out Aru and playing it in this upcoming alpha stress test.
Yeah, hopefully everyone's been out there enjoying the stress test weekend. Hopefully it hasn't been too stressful for the servers. I think it'll be a ton of fun. I can't wait to get a chance to play this game more. Like when I started playing this game originally in beta test, Karath was maybe about half done. Most of the Karath units were still big teapots. So seeing where the game has gone since I started being involved in playtesting it and hanging out with you guys, to seeing where it is now, it's just amazing to see the progress that this game has gone through in just about a year's time. So it's been an absolute pleasure on my end to get to see this and to get to cast some of these very early alpha tournaments with the game still in development, and just kind of see the evolution of a new RTS right from the very beginning. Very, very cool for me personally. So thanks for involving me in that. But that's it. That's the end of the pre-alpha showdown. Congratulations to Highdra for taking the finals 3-1. Before we go, Travis, any final shout-outs, any final thoughts?
Absolutely. I'd love to thank all of our amazing, amazing community members who we would not be able to make the game as good as it could be without all of you helping support us through every step of the way, being so charitable with your time and diligence.
That's right. And I want to say thanks to Sunspear for continuing to work hard on what is looking like the next big step in RTS. I feel like that's a big statement to make, but I think you're on the right track. I wouldn't be involved if I didn't think that. So it's been a ton of fun. It continues to be, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds for the development of Immortal. But thanks again to all of you out there watching. Thanks for playing in the alpha if you're there, and if you're not yet, keep an eye out. There's going to be more opportunities to get in and play the game early as well. So until next time, thanks for watching. Enjoy the game. We'll see you on the next cast.
Take care, everybody.